I'm Kaylee.
I'm Alan.
And this is the Split Take Podcast.
I like the automatic countdown that we have now that tells us when we're supposed to start talking.
Split Take Podcast live and in color. I'm excited.
So this is going to be not only audio, but now we're doing video.
Yeah.
So it's going to be YouTube in it? Where are we going with this?
On Spotify too.
So the video goes on Spotify also?
Yeah.
Now I'm actually scared.
I'm all
terrified.
Of our listeners that don't already know us from KOFM are all going, whoa, that's what they look like?
They're either going to go, wow, that's what they look like, or
oh,
dang, that's what they look like?
Not what I had pictured.
Ooey, it's a big ooey. Mom, why are they so scary?
Children everywhere crying.
So, yeah, go look for our video. It's gonna be a new thing.
Yeah.
Should have started this a year ago.
I don't think I was ready a year ago.
Okay. So, let's talk about relationships.
Yes.
This week on Split Take, it's relationships. Cameron Diaz brought this to the forefront.
Yeah.
The idea of separate bedrooms, like Lucy and Desi Arnaz back in I Love Lucy.
No, they just had separate beds. They were in the same room.
Yeah.
She's talking like your grandma and your grandpa sleep in fully separate rooms in the house.
Do you know, because of the moral code, before we start down this is going to be a big rabbit hole. Due to the moral code of Hollywood, couples had to sleep in separate beds during the I Love Lucy. Do you know what Hollywood couple first slept in the same bed together?
Mm-mm.
I kid you not, Fred and Wilma Flintstone.
Interesting.
It was a cartoon. It was in prime time. That's the very first network couple to sleep in the same bed.
Yeah.
Weird, huh?
I don't want a separate bedroom or a separate bed for my husband. I don't sleep well when he's not home. I also don't sleep well when I go to bed before he does.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to level with you. Our 3-year-old still sleeps in our bed because I like to snuggle. Mm-hmm. And my husband will not snuggle me as much as I'd like to be snuggled.
Okay.
There comes a point at night when he's ready to go to sleep. He sleeps on his belly.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll roll away from me and lay on his belly. And I find that deeply offensive.
Okay.
But my 3-year-old will stick herself to me like a leech all night long.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. The only payoff is that I do catch an elbow to the face on occasion.
You like sleeping with leeches. I've learned something about Kaylee today.
If you put a leech in my house, you and I are going to tussle.
You just said
sleep
like a leech.
No.
Well, it turns out 1 in 4 couples actually sleep separately already. 1 in 4.
That seems like a lot.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
She said that she wants to normalize separate bedrooms. Cameron Diaz says, to me, I would have my house, you have yours, separate homes.
I feel like you don't like each other that much if you're living in separate houses.
Yeah, she said we'd have the family house in the middle, and then my side of the house would be down there, and your side of the house would be over there.
So she wants to go full on, like, royalty. This is my wing of the house, and that's your wing of the house, and this is our common area.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Now, she did retract it.
Okay.
She felt that way before she got married.
Well, sure.
When she married the love of her life, she's like, oh, wait,
I like this person.
Yeah.
I want to be around this person. They're stinky, but I like them in my space.
But apparently, this is not like a brand new idea.
No.
People have been doing this forever. There's people that snore. They're like, I can't stand to be in the same room with you because you snore. The only way I'm going to get some sleep is to, and I bet it happens at the empty nest period of time when the kids are gone. Probably, where there's that extra bedroom.
Yeah.
I'll just go sleep in there. I already do that when I'm sick.
My grandparents were well into their 70s when they moved into separate bedrooms.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Why'd they do that? Did you ever know?
My grandpa had
medical?
sleep apnea.
Right.
And made some horrific noises when he slept. And the noise from the CPAP machine, my grandma just couldn't stand it.
Mm-hmm.
So they moved.
Interesting.
And it was fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know. My husband, listen, My husband is a sleep talker / sleepwalker, and he regularly disturbs my slumber. But I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm kind of attached though, so I don't really like to. I can be by myself. Like I just went on a 14-hour road trip, all entirely by myself.
Yeah.
And I don't mind that. But at nighttime when everybody's home, like I just want to be together.
I think sleeping separately, that's one, but actually the idea of living separately, what's the point?
Right.
Isn't that just dating? It's not a relationship.
That's no.
I'm not sure if Cameron, your mom, told you how life works, but you have to sleep in the same bed. Otherwise, little baby Camerons don't show up.
Okay. I mean, you're not wrong, but...
World population declines to near zero as new trend takes over with sleeping in separate beds. In a related story, more incidences of people being arrested parking.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, teach his own, whatever.
I want to talk about some red flags. Because to me, if I was dating someone and they were like, listen, we can get married, but you cannot sleep in my house / bedroom, I'd be like, flag on the play. I don't like that.
Right.
So let's talk about some relationship red flags.
Oh my gosh.
Do you have some that are specific to you? It's like a red flag.
Well, I mean, it's been decades since I've dated.
Well, I'm sure you've got, people that date. Right?
Yeah. I would say your cell phone, the cell phone thing is the first thing.
Like you're more interested in your phone?
Well, more interested in the phone, or what if as they enter the room, all of a sudden you're seeing them doing the whole switching out and making the screen dark type thing.
That's a little sketchy.
Like they don't want you. I tend to do that anyway, simply because I'm trying to. Now my wife's going to wonder what's going on. I'm trying to be better about being more attentive.
Yeah.
And so I just turn it off, like click it to dark screen. So I'm trying. But yeah, I would say more attention to the smartphone than you.
Yeah.
That's the first red flag, probably.
Yeah. For me, anybody who is proud of the fact that they don't read.
That they don't read?
Yeah. I'm a voracious reader.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, my sister brought a boy home and he took a look at my bookcase and he went, "You got a lot of books." And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And I thought he was like interested in the books.
Right.
So I was like, "What do you read?" And he goes, "Oh, I don't read." And he was really proud of that. And I looked at my sister and was like, "Get him out of my house."
I think you know this. I don't read a lot.
Right. But you're not like, I don't read.
I'm not against reading.
Right.
I just don't read a lot.
That's fine.
And
you don't have to read a lot. Just don't act like you're better because you don't read.
Yeah.
I don't like that. That seems like
kind of weird.
Being proud of, I don't want to say ignorance, because you're not ignorant if you don't read.
I graduated to the 6th grade and said, I'm finished. This is all I'm ever going to learn. I'm happy and proud of it. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of that vibe.
Yeah.
I've got some that are maybe a little more universal.
Okay.
Not so niche.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're dating somebody that you met on a dating profile, if their profile doesn't match who they really are. So like their profile says...
Like the picture?
No.
Or the actual description?
Like your profile says, "I'm an avid hiker. You don't hike." Or...
I gotcha. Yeah.
"I like scary movies.
Mm-hmm.
You don't watch movies."
Right.
It's that kind of thing where you've made a connection with someone based on the things that you think you have in common,
mm-hmm.
but you actually don't have anything in common. It's kind of a red flag.
It's basically a scam.
Yeah.
You're just looking for a good time.
Yeah. If you are with somebody who's describing all of their exes as crazy, all of your exes cannot be crazy.
It's common denominator.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a common denominator here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Common denominator?
Common denominator.
Denominator. Add that to the list of words I can't say for some reason.
Denominator.
Denominator. Okay. All right.
As opposed to a dominator.
That's not what I said.
Denominator. Yeah. Denominator. Denominator. Now I can't say it.
Now my brain hurts.
Help us. Please.
There's no help for us.
I think another I think the whole truth thing. the whole truth, all of everything that leads up to just being honest with each other as you start peeling back the onion, like the third date or so.
Mm-hmm.
So same kind of question. If you make it to the second date, do you think you're going to make it to the third date?
I'm not going to put any,
Mm-hmm.
how do I say this? I'm not going to invest in a second date if I don't think it'll go to a third.
Right.
If our first date went bad,
yeah,
that's it.
And then after the third date, man, I'm kind of like a puppy dog. I'm that guy. I'm that guy back in grade
third
school.
Date, you're going, I love you.
Yeah. That's the thing. If I'm going to go out with you 3-4 different times, we're almost married.
Oh,
and I don't mean that in a possessive way, but it's like, well, obviously you like me enough to go out more than once.
You mean that in a really naive small town boy way.
In a golden retriever kind of way.
Yeah.
You keep feeding me. I keep showing up. You must like me.
Right.
And then I'll sit back and wait for the girl to tell me what we're supposed to do next. Yeah. Are we dating still, or, yeah. Because usually it's the first date.
Right.
Yeah, I enjoyed our date. Let's be friends.
Yeah.
That's
if we had a good time, but there's no chemistry.
Right.
I'm not.
It's first date time, right?
No,
so there's just all those things. What I'm saying is those red flags. It's a gut thing, in your gut.
This is two people who haven't dated in decades talking about this.
It's more than decades. It's over a quarter of a century.
Good Lord. It's only been 10 years since I dated.
Now, I would argue that I date my wife all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
I go out on dates with her all the time.
But not get to know you dates. You know each other by now.
Kinda.
I mean,
no,
we
know each other,
you
yes.
know each other by now. Yikes. I'm going to keep adjusting my microphone and I'm happy with it.
36. Yeah, 36 years.
Okay.
No, yeah.
That's not half a century.
36 years. It's well over a quarter of a century.
Yeah. My husband and I have been together 10 years.
It's 14 years from a half a century.
All right.
Oh, no.
Way to be old, dude.
No, you get married when you're 12. It's not a big deal.
You didn't get married at 12.
No, but if you had, it wouldn't have been a big deal. So.
Goodness. Okay, I got another one.
Okay.
If their jealousy leads to controlling or possessive behaviors.
Absolutely.
That's a huge, obvious red flag. It's not cute for them to be like, you can't wear that because I'm jealous.
I was standing behind a couple the other day in a fast food place, and he ordered the entire meal.
He ordered for her?
She was standing right there, and he ordered everything. Like we'll take this and we want that. And then he looked at her and he didn't ask her. He said, and you want this, right? And you're going to drink that, right?
Oh.
And I was like, and I kept looking. I kept looking at her, and she seemed to be very proud to be with him. I think she was his arm candy.
I suppose.
And I think there are a couple that have been together for a long time, I think.
But
man, I was looking for red flags in that one just to see if she was okay. Because I was like, what? It's weird.
I'm better now that I'm older.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a time when I absolutely hated ordering food.
Yeah.
And if we're going to be going through the drive-thru, I still make my husband drive so that he has to order it.
No, I do that.
My husband calls and makes my doctor's appointments because I don't know. I get so anxious about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be that they established in the car what she wanted.
Okay.
And she was like, please order for me. If that's not the case and he just decided for her, then.
But when you're going through the drive-thru, don't you, if I was a fly on the wall, at some point I would hear you say, give me a number 2 with cheese.
I want this.
Yeah, but you're telling him he's not just.
But that's in the drive-thru.
Right.
If I didn't want you to know that I don't know.
So when you go up to, or in any scenario, any restaurant, sit down, stand up, quick, whatever, you order your own food, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It is weird.
I don't know. Yeah. There's just a red flag there, I think.
Yeah.
Of controlling mechanisms. So.
What about putting you down, even if they're teasing?
It doesn't work. I mean, It depends.
So,
It depends on the scenario, and
my husband and I, it's not like a one-sided, one of us is constantly
right
being a turd to the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And there are lines that we both know not to cross.
Right.
But we tease each other all the time.
Mm-hmm. We
tease each other all the time.
I looked at Karen not that long ago and I said, it's okay. I can tease you because I love you.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't work. She's like, no. And I was actually teasing her when I said that. Yeah.
I think it depends on the couple too.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not a person who teases, then you don't want a partner that's going to tease you.
And it's going to come off like they're a jerk.
Yeah. But my husband and I mean, we're constantly pulling pranks on each other.
Mm-hmm.
I tell funny stories about him on the radio. He thinks it's funny. He does the same thing to me. The instant he gets in his Discord channel, he is immediately going to bring up the dumb thing I did.
You sound like you would be a couple on Friends.
We kind of are.
or whatever.
I mean, we don't do
sitcom couple.
A lot of pranks. We're not like those couples TikToks where they're constantly pranking each other.
Although that couple's hilarious, whatever their names are. The one,
I don't like that kind of pranks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of that. My husband knows that, so we don't really do that. But if you shut the door and you don't know the other person's in the house, they're going to stand in front of that door and wait for you to open it and scare the bejesus out of you.
Yeah. Now, I don't know what the couple's called, but he's the one where it plays As I Walk Through the Valley of the Shadow of Death. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one, that couple. You know that's all planned.
Oh, yeah.
It's choreographed exhaustively.
Yeah.
It's not on the cuff. And so what you see on TikTok trends, none of it's real. None of it's real.
No.
So there's a red flag. If they're living their life through TikTok trends, there's got to be more than life than TikTok.
Yeah. So you got to do it for something other than the gram.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you met them at a club between girlfriends or boyfriends, there's a red flag. I would say where you meet them is at least worth. You got the grimace going on. Remember, we're doing video now. I would say it's worth being protective about.
So my husband and I
know you did. But you're going to tell the whole story? Because
I can tell some of it.
It originally wasn't you did that. You weren't keen to date
each
him.
other,
right?
No. And I had just not that long ago broken up with a boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Really wasn't that interested in dating.
Yep.
A friend introduced us, and I took one look at him and went, "No."
Right.
He took one look at me and went, "No," because he just seemed so stuffy and stuck up, and I'm fun. I like to think
he's not. By the way, he's just kind of quiet and bashful.
He's very shy, but it doesn't translate that way because he has cop face, real hard.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Like if I didn't know what he does for a living, I would think he was a cop.
I remember him because my son went to school with him in high school. And I remember him in high school, and my perception of him then was kind of that going.
Yeah.
Man, who's he? Yeah,
who does he think he
is?
Yeah,
and not being mean to you, Chris. And he knows better now.
Yeah,
we're all good friends.
He's actually gotten a lot better about it since we've been together because I am so fun. That I rubbed off on him. He took.
Yeah.
He took one look at me though, and my hair was the color of your shirt.
Right.
And I was,
which is pinkish reddish, by the way.
Very, yeah. And I was wild. I will just say I was wild.
But
and he wasn't interested in that.
But fast forward to the hero moment of the bar story.
So we had our first date at a bar, only because two of our mutual friends wanted to go on a date.
Yeah.
For reasons, needed other people to go with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I agreed. I'd be nice, bite the bullet, go on a date with that guy I don't like.
Right.
Not too long into the night, a teacher that had taught at my school was hanging. Oh, I know, at my high school.
High school?
My high school.
But you were in college.
I was in college at this point. It was my freshman year of college.
Former high school teacher starts hitting on you.
Big time. Like hanging all over me. Will not leave me alone.
Yeah.
I am uncomfortable, but I don't want to I'm on a date. I don't want to come off as a thug.
Right.
Which I easily could have.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to start a fight. I didn't want to come off that way.
Yep.
And so I was just kind of trying to ignore him, hoping he would go away.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at one point, we had gone to sit down at these tables that are kind of like picnic tables. They had the long bench seat. And this guy followed us and sat down next to me and was hanging on me, trying to whisper in my ear. It was uncomfortable. I wanted to go home. And Chris reached over. He hadn't talked to me all night. Reached over, put his arm around my waist, dragged me across that seat, and just planted a kiss on me. And it was bold and it was risky because I could have gotten very upset about that. But I was like, no one's ever like stepped in like that for me.
Damsel in distress.
And
he was your Prince Charming.
I'm not the damsel in distress type, but I was extremely appreciative that he put an end to that situation. And I was impressed that this guy who couldn't make eye contact with me had suddenly taken such a big step to get that creepy guy off of me.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was the point at which I really got interested. Okay. Yeah. And I was like, I think I really like this guy.
So from that moment, and mine's much more mundane than that. I saw Karen come to the radio station and I liked what I saw through the window. And I'm like, hey,
how you doing?
And so all the guys hit on her a little bit. And she actually went out with a different guy first.
Oh.
And she called me at the radio station while I was doing my show, telling me how creepy my coworker was.
Oh.
And that just kind of led to a friendship that went on for like many months during that particular summer. And then, how do I put this politely?
You hit it off.
We were at a party.
Bada bing, bada boom.
And we hooked up. There it is. Yeah, it went from friendship to, okay. Yeah. I guess we're dating now.
Oh, okay.
I go back to the grade school version of me. I'm like,
she held my hands. So I
had no intention going into that party of that occurring. I was not planning anything.
Right.
It generically occurred.
Yeah.
So anyway, we moved past that point. Relationships built. Marriages happen. Children come along. And it comes to name changing time or naming the child time.
Right.
What happens if your spouse decides on a name and says, that's it?
I would have had an absolute fit. And so would my husband have, because it turns out when we were naming our kids, we don't have the same taste.
There's a couple. The wife absolutely loved the boy's name she had in mind, and the husband thinks it's terrible.
Okay.
They were in an impasse, but the wife seems to have just forged ahead with her plan and her name.
What's the name?
And now the husband's gone to Reddit's "Am I the Hole" for him to get the internet's help on the matter. Should he fight the battle or let it go? Is the name really as bad as he thinks? Is it the best solution? Blah blah blah. I'm still waiting for the child's name.
Oh,
okay.
What is it?
Okay, so when we found out the gender of the baby, after we found out we were having a boy, we sat down together and made a list. Almost all the names she suggested were normal until the last one she caused me to write this post. She suggested we name him Moon. M-U-N-E. Moon.
That's not Mune?
She told me the name was from this movie she watched when she was younger, and it always stuck with her. I told her the name was a little out there and he'd get made fun of it.
Yeah.
She claimed he wouldn't. We started going back and forth trying to decide whether to add the name to the list or not. Eventually, she agreed to keep the name off the list. We picked some that we liked. I thought that was that. Later on in her pregnancy, her mom decided to throw a baby shower as it was her first grandchild. It was fine for the first part until we started to open the gifts. Most of them were normal baby things like diapers and bottles until we got to her mom's gift, which was a handmade blue blanket with the name Moon written on the blanket.
Oh.
I saw it. I was angry, didn't want to cause a scene, so I stayed quiet. La, 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 la. After the party, things got ballistic. She got upset, called her mom to come get her. After she left, she called me and said she wouldn't be coming back for a while. blah, 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 blah.
Wow, that got really heated.
I think this is an ongoing story because the Reddit community went on his side.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think they're together anymore over the name of a child. Because it's a child, not a goldfish.
Oh. My husband and I did not agree. It's a good thing we didn't have a boy.
Yeah.
We never would have landed on a boy's name that we liked. I kind of like older names.
Right.
But not just older names. Like, for example, one of the names I had picked out was like Finnegan.
Uh-huh.
Or Owen with the Irish spelling.
Right.
And he said no.
Mm-hmm. See, classic names are in now.
I know.
18th or 19th century names are in. Late 1800s, like Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Those are the big names now.
The funny thing is, I liked the name Audrey
mm-hmm.
for my first daughter. It's not what we named her, but
mm-hmm.
I had thought about the name Audrey, but we had not, it'd been like 4 days of back and forth on names. And at that point I was like, he's not going to like it. I'm just not going to put it on the list. Like 4 years later, we're talking about I'm pregnant and we're going to have another baby and we're talking about names. And I had mentioned Audrey. We did not name my second child either because I just didn't think it was going to fit her.
Mm-hmm.
And I was right.
Yep.
But I was like, I really wanted to name her Audrey, like Audrey Hepburn. And he was like, I love that name.
It's a good name.
Why didn't you bring it up? And I was like, I didn't think you'd like it. He's like, I would have said yes. I'm glad we didn't go with it.
Mm-hmm.
The name my oldest daughter has fits her better. My youngest daughter's name fits her perfectly.
It's only one thing to do, people. Got to have another kid.
No.
It's the only solution.
No.
Just one more child.
Listen.
Come on, Kaylee. Just one more.
No. I maintain we can have another baby when he can get pregnant. Because I hate it.
Yeah.
I cannot stress this enough. I'm going to go off on a little bit of a rant.
That's all right.
I despise being pregnant. I don't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grouchy. I will never come closer to getting in a fist fight than when I'm pregnant.
Okay.
Because I'm just that irritable.
I think many women would probably agree with you.
Yeah. I hear some women are like, I love being pregnant. It's the miracle of life. I feel like a sack of vomit. I'm so happy for you.
It's a blessing in disguise. It's a sack of vomit.
It's a miracle that I'm still kicking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
All right. I got more red flags.
All right.
More.
So we're getting close to the end of the show, I think. We're close. Yeah. How long you want to go?
Time flies when you're having fun. Yeah. All right. Do you have like
at least on my camera there's a countdown going on? I don't know about your camera.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that what that is right there? Is the countdown?
Yeah, right.
What is that?
It's a big thing with your finger.
Sorry. By the way, we're doing video. If you didn't figure it out, we've got the video version of the Split Take podcast now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to end on this. Everybody's got that one weird ick. That one thing.
Couples, like the one person. Is that what you mean?
Every person's got one thing.
Okay.
And it's usually weird and sometimes it doesn't apply to anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
It's that one thing that's going to set you off every single time, gives you the ews, and it like makes you look at your partner a little different. Or maybe if you're just dating, like that's it. We're done.
Yeah.
I'll tell you mine to kind of set the.
So this is the they do it on the first date and you're like, I am so finished type of thing.
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
I love my husband.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to preface this with, I love my husband very much. And I am not going to divorce him over his soup eating habits. But I might stop making soup.
You have to audibly describe it because it's going to be hilarious.
And it's awful.
Yeah.
And I'm glad this is our first video episode because it's the only way you're going to really get what's going on here.
All right.
He does it with cereal too. He gets a big old mouth of soup or cereal. And then he like slurps it. So it's like and then it goes, ugh, ugh. Why are you making that sound while you're eating soup? What is that? It's like he's trying to breathe out of his mouth.
Does he inhale the soup in his nostrils? What is that?
No, but he always does it, and it's just like a.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm giving myself the ick. Oh.
Wow.
It bothers me so much. I will sit across from the table staring daggers into that man.
Yeah.
He's like, "What? I'm just eating soup."
Ugh. Oh, maybe I'm more desperate. There's very few things that would set me off on a first date. I don't like the smoking thing would be an issue for me.
Yeah.
Don't drink out of my cup.
Oh, yeah?
That's kind of weird.
You don't share a cup with your wife?
No. Huh. We got our own toothbrushes.
Well, I would hope
our own pillows.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We actually have separate bathrooms. I would recommend that for any couple. Just saying. Yeah, that's a totally different issue, but
that's probably a fair point.
Yeah, it's just some of the weird things. It wouldn't be a complete deal breaker, but it certainly would be like.
So
did she do that?
If you were like on a first date and she reached over, grabbed your cup, and took a sip out of your drink,
yeah,
you'd be like, done.
It would weird me out. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I was always. I'm a typical guy. Like I'm the puppy dog. I'm like, okay, no. I would put up with a lot.
All right.
Yeah. I don't think there is.
First date, shut it down.
Yeah.
If you're rude to the waitress, I'm done. I'm not sticking around.
Yeah.
If you're rude or you tip too low, nah.
Okay.
Nah. I don't have to worry about it though. I don't foresee dating in my future.
No, me either. I can tell you in the world and everybody, if something happens to my wife, I'm finished.
Yeah.
I am no. I don't have it in me to teach somebody else how to be. That's the polite way of saying it. You know what I'm saying?
I just
after a point, you're like, I took my whole life teaching them and finding out what I like
to each other.
Well, that's the polite way of saying it. But let's be honest, you taught your husband how to behave.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To fit your needs and your space and your liking, and that's fine.
Yeah, he's done the same thing with me.
Yeah, you have to start all the way over again.
No, dating seems so dismal right now too.
Well, it's not. Well, it's because you're married. You're happy.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, there's no point. But yeah, I wouldn't want to date now.
No,
I can't imagine dating. I've never had to date during the technological revolution. The last time I dated, we didn't have bag phones yet.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we did. No, we didn't.
Technically dating around like Tinder era.
Yeah, yeah.
But I didn't ever have to use it because I met my husband literally 2 weeks into college.
Last time I went on a date that I didn't date my wife, it was the mid 1986 year. Early 1986. We had rotary dial phones. We sent letters via not TikTok, but telegraph. And the Pony Express dropped by the station once a day to pick up the mail.
Yikes.
On the way up their Chisholm Trail. Wasn't quite that bad, but it was certainly all letters.
Send all your stuff via telegram.
Yeah, imagine this. Everything was 6 to 8 weeks, usually 8 to 10 weeks delivery.
Yikes.
Forget you, Amazon. If you ordered your Christmas presents after September, probably not going to make it by Christmas time.
Yeah.
You had to be calculating back then. In order to make dates work, you had to be good. You had to work hard.
Beep each other on your pager.
We didn't have pagers yet.
Oh, no.
No, there was, they existed, but I didn't have one yet. Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you. Yikes. Like writing letters to each other, calling each other on the phone.
Someday we're going to have to sit down and do tell us about the past, Grandpa.
And, if I wanted to call my parents, it was a long distance phone call.
Oh, so
that's
it costs
the other
extra.
thing. Yeah, it costs extra to call across the state. That's the one thing that's the biggest thing about relationships is the connectivity that we have now that we didn't have before.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
All right. Well, this has been
I'm going to go take some Geritol now.
Okay, Grandpa. I'll help you walk down to your office.
Right.
It'll be okay.
What day is it?